And welcome, my DevNation friends. It's another show, show number 3 or 4 from 2021. I don't remember. Let me check if everything is going well on the stream. There's a delay of 20 seconds, a big delay today, so let's cross fingers. I can already see that I am a bit lagging. I'm sorry. I can do anything about that. Hopefully, for my guest, it will be better. Okay, so today, great guest, of course, as always. And after that, we will play a game all together. Okay, it's really lagging. I hope the audio is okay. Please say hi in the chat. Okay, you're really quiet. Say just hello that you're around there. Hey, there's Aurélie. Hi, Aurélie. People are pinging me. Let me see if something. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's really bad quality today. I'm on a not lucky day. Anyway, let me tell you something. 15 days ago, I was showing you weapons that I use when I do Kobudo. Okay. And I told you that every show I will show you a different weapon that we are using. So 15 days ago, it were the tonquas, you remember. Today, a really simple one. I want you to show you the bow. That is called the bow. Look, really long stick. It's just a stick. And it's the first weapon that you learn. It's probably the simplest one because it's just a stick. Really hard to master. And probably the most powerful. Okay, once you master the stick, well, you can, maybe 5 people can attack you, no problem. You go. Okay, so I always got my stick here, not to defend my house, but just to train my katas every morning. You know. In 15 days, I will show you another weapon, a short weapon this time. Okay. Anyway, let's move to. Let me just be sure. Okay. And oh yeah, just before, I hope everything will stay in place. 2 days ago, it was a mess here. I had a thunderstorm and I had a huge leakage on my roof and water was falling on my computers, on my stuff, on my microphone. It was crazy. Hopefully today the sun is shining, so we won't have this issue. But maybe one day that will happen. It will make the show even more special. Anyway, double checking that I'm still there. James is hola. So people, James is there. Hi, James. How are you? Vahibav is there. Jean-François. Hey, salut, Jean-François. Miroslav. Hi, Miroslav. And David, of course. David is there because now it's interview time. And you know what? I will bring David now on stage. Let me press the good button. Yeah, there you are. Hello. Hey, I'm fine.
Nice to hear you. I love your English accent. Your English accent is much lovely than my accent, so I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Well, you know what? I always ask this question. The best way to start is that you introduce yourself to everyone.
Sure. So let me do that. So I'm David Pilato. I have been working for more than 20 years in the IT, I think. I don't remember exactly. You know, after 15 years, I think you stop counting the number of years you are working in the IT. So probably more than 20, maybe 25, something like that. Yes. Anyway, during my experience, I have been working in several companies, a big telco in France named SFR, CGTEL, for example. And I have been working also for the French customs at some point. Yeah. And while I was at the French customs, I discovered a project, an open source project, which the name was Elasticsearch, you know, for search. And I super enjoyed that project. I enjoyed it so much that I started to build a community, a French community around that. And then I had the opportunity to meet the author of Elasticsearch, who is Shay Bannon. And while we were discussing, he was starting to build this company Elastic around the project. And it was kind of obvious that I need to join the company and share my excitement about the project and all those things, also contribute some code to the project. So more than 8 years ago, I joined Elastic, the company, and I'm as a developer, basically, around Elasticsearch. I was more working on plugins in Elasticsearch, some plugins that we were calling rivers, for example, which are not there anymore, but also plugins to do snapshot restore, to do discovery, all those things that I was working on. And I was still, in the same time, doing things for the community, like organizing meetups, going to conferences, and speaking a lot about Elasticsearch. So it became obvious at some point that I would join a community team that we built at this moment. And so since 2017, I'm officially an evangelist, a full-time evangelist nowadays. So I'm trying to interact with people, with developers. I'm more a dev guy than an ops guy, so I'm more interacting with developers. And yes, to help them and to help them also on the forums like discuss.elastic.co, where we are helping people, for example. And also, yes, preparing nice demos about the new stuff that we have around and things along those lines. So basically, the way I'm introducing myself when I have to explain that to my mother, for example, I'm like a salesman who is selling the free tier of what we have to offer. So it's super easy job, by the way, because you have a lot of love. You are just giving a lot of feature for free. So it's super nice to interact with people because people don't see you as a salesperson, you know, with this, what do you want to sell me? Actually, I don't want to sell anything. I just want you to be successful in your project and use the more you can the free tier of Elastic Stack. And then maybe at some point move to an offer that you have to pay for, move to the cloud, for example, or things along those lines. So that was basically a short introduction. Was that short?
Well, no. Well, I like it. There's no strict format here in this show, so okay. I love it. And I just want to add a story how we met the first time. So I think it was 2012. Is that exactly correct?
Yeah.
2012, first Devox Friends edition ever. It was not in Palais des Congrès, but in how was it called? I don't remember this place.
It was the hotel, the Marriott Hotel.
The hotel, yeah, Marriott Hotel with a strange carpet. Yeah. Yeah. And I went to your talk, and I think it was your first talk ever, right?
Yes, exactly. That was my first talk, public conference, and not only public conference. I mean, the first time I spoke, it was internally at the French Customs. There was like 10 person or so. So that was my very first time in front of 200 smart people. And I was saying, what I'm doing here, am I qualified to speak about all those things? Because those people that I have in front of me, like you said, they are super smart and they are doing super nice thing with on Java. That was a platform which was super trendy at this moment. And so I was saying, okay, can I speak? And the feedback that I had from this talk showed me that actually I should not suffer from this imposter syndrome that we all have. And it was totally fine. And yes, my message hit the target. People starting to use more and more Elasticsearch. And from this event, we started to build the community around Elasticsearch, the French community. Yeah, from this event.
Awesome. I remember I was sitting in on the first row, and I even asked you a question.
I totally remember your question.
About I was asking if it was possible to add geolocation criteria when you do a search.
And that was super nice that you asked this question, by the way, because in my notes, I was supposed to talk about the fact that we are supporting geopoints in Elasticsearch. And I forgot about that. And when you asked me this question, I say, oh, thank you for your question, because I forgot to mention this point. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, and since then we met at so many conferences, and that brings me to the next question because and I ask this question to everyone as well. You are an evangelist, dev advocate, or dev relation. I don't know what you prefer.
Evangelist. It's fine.
Evangelist, okay, yeah. And well, since last year, things has changed a bit in the world, a little bit. And so, how do you handle with this situation? Can you
Yeah.
tell a bit about it?
So yeah, sure. So of course, the pandemic has been here for a while now, and at the beginning, I was kind of happy to have that break because I have been traveling a lot while I was doing evangelist the evangelist job at Elastic, and but I started in 2019 to slow down a bit, and I changed my policy. So it was before the pandemic, and I changed my travel policy, and instead of going outside twice per week, that was something I had in mind when I joined Elastic. I wanted to meet people in real life because being just behind my screen all day long without any human interaction was not for me. So I wanted to have this interaction. Then I decided at the beginning to go on the road twice per week. So it can be just driving to Paris, for example, and then going or doing a conference in Berlin, Amsterdam, wherever. So it was like twice a week. So I found that twice a week and then 3 days at home was a good balance. But at the end, it did not work at well. Because you are always thinking about the next event, and you are always thinking about moving. Like, okay, you have to think about taking the cab, booking an hotel, booking your transport, and all those things that you have to think about, which was super hard to me because I did not have then enough time to think about the other part of my job. So in 2019, I said, okay, I'm going to change that policy, and I'm going to travel 1 week per month. So it will be 1 full week. I can be in 3 different countries the same week, but then I will be at home for the 3 other weeks. And then I will be able to rest a bit, which is important, and to focus on other tasks, writing content and things along those lines. Yeah. So that worked very well. And because I started to slow down when the pandemic came, the only thing that was suppressed was the fact that I was not able to travel 1 week anymore per month. But I was kind of happy not having to travel, to be honest, because, yeah, it was a lot of investment, as I said, and it was super exhausting to travel a lot. So I was happy at the beginning. But then, after, I don't know, 5 or 6 months or so, I started to miss meeting people in real life. And one of the things that was missing me the most was the meetups that I was organizing in Paris every 6 weeks or so. I was missing this community and this interaction in real life with this community and with people. So I'm still missing that a lot. Of course, we did a lot of things like the things that you are doing today, like trying to keep in touch with the community and keep them aware about all the things. But then I don't want to enter this game where you are too often online, because then you have this kind of Zoom fatigue or meetup fatigue, as I would call it.
Zoom fatigue.
Yeah, it's too much. And so I like having meetups every 2 weeks, I think, but only 1 talk per meetup, only 20-minute sessions. Otherwise, I have this feeling that people won't attend that much. And we try with my team to organize online events. Yeah. Like we did organize a 24 hours conference made by the community for the community. So that was a super nice experience to run. It was a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And recently, so every day we are doing just before lunch, a small 8-minute session about...
I saw it 2 days ago. You did it.
Yeah, exactly. and it's only 8 minutes before lunch, so it's like an appetizer before lunch. Okay, you can learn something super easily, only 8 minutes, and we are going to cover something. Tomorrow I will speak about index, shrink, split, and the rollover API as well. So that will be something that people can learn. So this is something that we are doing, but I'm still missing, of course, I'm still missing meeting people in real life. The policy of our company does not allow us to travel because the company does not want to take any risk for any of the employees of Elastic. So we are not allowed to travel to meet people at meetups or conference or things along those lines, and which is super safe for employees, by the way. So I really appreciate that we are doing that. But on the other hand, I'm missing that. So I will expect that with the vaccine happening in France, that we will be safer, maybe during the summer, and at the beginning, after the summer, we will be able to meet again. So that's my hope.
That's my hope as well. I have the same. We have the same policy at Red Hat. We're not allowed to travel until end of June.
Mm.
So you saw that Devox France is trying still to happen end of June. It will happen the day that Red Hat will release the policy. So maybe I can make it. But to be honest, I really want to hope. I want to be positive about it. But like you said, I have no idea.
I don't know.
But hey, let's talk a bit about your job or the company Elasticsearch. I think most of people know more or less what it is, but it's more than that. Maybe you can start with Elasticsearch and then explain a bit everything that you do, and then we dive into what you are doing. And stuff are falling here, but okay, it's okay.
Yeah, I can do that. So you want me actually to do my evangelist job?
Exactly.
So Elastic is the name of the company, by the way. It's not Elasticsearch, the company. It used to be Elasticsearch at the beginning, but now we rename us Elastic. And the reason for that, and I have a nice logo here. So this is the logo of Elastic. And the reason that we renamed the company is that we were starting to build something else than Elasticsearch. And we built what we are calling now Elastic Stack, which is a stack made of several products. So Elasticsearch is still the core of the stack, so it's basically a search engine where you send JSON documents, you index the content that you have in your JSON document, and then you are able to search and retrieve and compute aggregation, so to have different kind of views on the result set that you have. Everything in near real time. Whatever the size of the data is, you can have petabytes of data if you wish indexed in Elasticsearch, and you are able to search for that. On top of that, when I joined the company, one of the employees who joined the day before was Rashid Khan. And Rashid Khan was working on a tool named Kibana. And Kibana is basically the UI that you put on top of Elasticsearch, where you can run all the queries that I mentioned, compute the aggregation, and display all that in a nice UI. It's also the framework for all the applications that we are building nowadays on top of Elasticsearch, like the security application, if you are in this world, the observability application, if you wish, the enterprise application, and all those things. So, so it's a UI on top of Elasticsearch. And then we have an ingest layer composed by two other projects. One is Logstash. So Logstash is basically an ETL where you extract the data from a source, you transform the data on the fly, and then you send the data that you have enriched into several destinations. And one of the destinations is obviously Elasticsearch, but you can also store on S3, for example, on the S3 service. Why not the data that you have collected and things like that?
Yeah, or send on a Kafka queue or Kafka topic, for instance.
Exactly. And you can consume also from Kafka as well. You can read from Kafka, transform the data, store inside Elasticsearch, or store to Kafka again, and blah, 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 all those things.
Okay.
And then we have a bits layer. So the bits components are basically components where you collect the data from a source. Like Filebit is useful to collect logs, for example, and stream your logs to Elasticsearch or to Logstash to do some really advanced enrichment. You can do enrichment inside Elasticsearch as well, but if you have very advanced use cases, for example, then you can do this enrichment inside Logstash if you wish. So you can collect from bits, send to Logstash, and then send to Elasticsearch. Or you can also collect the metrics from your application or from servers that are well known by the layer named MetricBit, or from the OS itself, from the system, and collect all those metrics. So it's one of the pillars of the observability. You have things like audit bits, for example, to perform security auditing about what is happening on your platforms. So it's useful for the security use case, for example. So all those things are named bits. So all those four components made what we call the Elastic Stack. And on top of the Elastic Stack, we are starting to build solutions. So one of the solutions is observability, where you can run APM. I did not mention APM, but you can run application performance monitoring. Like you have your Java application, you start with a specific jar, an agent, which is going to collect all the execution of your code in production, send that to Elasticsearch, and then you will be able to see all the calls that you have, including distributed traces, which is super nice to have. And everything is collected with the metrics that I mentioned, with the logs, so you can jump from one thing to another and blah, blah, blah. So this is the observability solution that we have. Then we have the security solution, which basically helps you to have a view of what is happening on your system and also block some activities if you are aware that something wrong is happening on one of the machines of your network, for example. I'm not in the ops part, so I cannot tell you a lot about this one. And then we have enterprise search. And enterprise search is something I like a lot because I'm coming basically from this world, enterprise search. I love this area. And in enterprise search, you have two different projects. One is App Search, and App Search is basically a layer on top of Elasticsearch, which simplifies the usage of Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is super powerful. You have a lot of APIs, but then if you have a simple search use case, using App Search will help you a lot to develop your system and also to maintain your system. Like if you want, for example, to promote, I don't know, a company or a service that people can search for on your website, then you can just drag and drop an element and then it will appear on the top of the list, for example, things like that. Of course, you can do that with Elasticsearch manually, but you have to code all that. Here, everything is set up for you. Okay. And it comes also with a web crawler where you can crawl your website and then have everything inside the App Search and Elasticsearch behind the scene. And then we have Workplace Search. And Workplace Search is basically Google Search appliance, if you wish, for your enterprise document. Let's say that you want to index what you have in Gmail, what you have in Google Drive, what you have in Dropbox, and federate all those sources within one simple search bar. Then Workplace Search is built for you. And as a developer, I'm maintaining a project named File System Crawler, and I recently implemented a file system crawler implementation for Workplace Search. So basically, you have now a UI for my open source project, which is Workplace Search. So all those things are the solutions that we are exposing. And of course, our business model is also to run all that in cloud. So you go to cloud.elastic.co and you can deploy on whatever provider you want.
Okay, so it's a managed, so you have managed services on?
Yes. So we have both. So you can run all that on premise if you wish. You can deploy on Cube because we have specific project named ECK, which stands for Elastic Cloud for Kubernetes, where you can deploy all the things that you want using Cube. don't ask me question and the technical question about that, please. I'm not the right guy for that.
No, don't worry.
But
No.
actually it's working. And then you can deploy, of course, on cloud on our platform. So if you want to have just a cluster up and running with whatever solution you want to implement, then 2 clicks away, and then you can just test that.
Yeah. Well, just for Cube, I know the Elastic operator. So
that's it.
It's 3 clicks, and you have your Elastic running in your node, in your cluster. And I'm using it because ECO, the service mesh solution, needs use Elasticsearch to send the metrics to Jaeger and all this stuff. So that's how I use Elasticsearch on my side.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it comes also with Kibana, which is deployed as well, I think.
Yes.
Maybe you are not using that though.
Well, it's a competitor now. It's Grafana. It's the other one.
Yeah. Oh, we have a nice partnership with Grafana, by the way, and we are helping them to have the best integration as possible with Elasticsearch. So those are. This is a friendly company, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And for the traces, it's Jaeger. Well, I think you are also probably working great with Jaeger to show the traces. So basically, Jaeger shows. I don't know if you ever saw Jaeger. If you have a service mesh and you have 3 services calling each other, in Jaeger you capture all the traces and you click on one request and you have the whole details about how much time between each request, and I'm sure it's collected by Elasticsearch. So yeah.
So we have a similar project. This is what we call the APM thing that we have. So I think it's compatible in a way that APM now is supporting open tracing as well, and I think that Jaeger can also support open tracing. So I think that there can be this interaction between both worlds.
Yeah. Okay. That's clear. And you mentioned in the beginning you're more a developer than ops. So well, we can talk a bit about development. So what's your favorite language? Are you a Java developer?
Yes, I'm a Java developer. I started at school with what was the name? Pascal, the language. Yeah. Not sure if it's well known, but then I did some C and C++. And then in 1996, I guess, I started to code a bit in Java, or 1997. So the very early days of Java.
Yeah, really good.
But I have been working a lot in Java when I joined actually the French customs in 2004. And that's where I really started to implement things and real projects and big projects in Java.
Yeah.
So Java is my favorite language. I would say.
And you still play with, develop with it, and
So my project, the file system crawler I mentioned, is purely in Java. Okay. So I'm still using that a lot every day. So yeah. And all the demos I'm running are also made in Java most of the time. So yeah.
Okay. And you are catching up with all the releases. So you update your project to Java 15 or at least Java 11? Or?
Yeah, so I'm updating the JVM at least to compile the project. But so I'm relying a lot on the IDE, and I'm using IntelliJ as the IDE to show me what I should change in my code, because I have this new version of Java and there is a smarter way to implement things. But I'm not rewriting all my code because I have a new version of Java.
Yeah. Okay.
I should.
Yeah. Well, just discovered. Yeah. To be honest, I was way behind, stuck on Java 8 or 9, and I discovered some of the new features like the records or stuff like that. And
I'm not aware of that, to be honest. I have the feeling that I should attend a bit more Paris Java user group, for example.
Yeah, they're on Twitch. By the way, we are also on Twitch right now. I always forget to mention that we are on the OpenShift TV Twitch. We are on the OpenShift Facebook account, and we are on our DevNation channel. So
I should have told that to my son, actually, because he's a Twitch fan, and if I told him that I'm on Twitch, he would say, "Oh, that's fantastic."
Yeah. My son as well. He say, "Oh, Dad, you're on Twitch." He's jealous because I have all these lights and this microphone and
By the way, let me ask you a question about your kids. So you are not traveling yourself anymore. So you are not doing conference anymore with your kids, because I saw your kids on stage once in Luxembourg for a conference, and it was amazing. So how do they feel not doing talks anymore?
Well, they're a bit frustrated because they love doing that. They were asking, "Hey, Dad, should we go to Devox France this year?" And then everything stopped. So I'm sure as soon as we will be able to travel, I think the next challenge for my daughter is Devox Belgium, because Stefan promised her. He said, "When you will be a bit older, you will be able to come. I invite you to Devox Belgium." So,
oh, that's fantastic. Very nice.
Yeah. So let me see. Well, we are already running out of time, but it was so great. Let me just double check the chat. No, the chat is really quiet. So you're really quiet today on the chat, but it happens sometimes. People are
because it's our French accent.
Oh no, no. There's James there. He's used to my accent. Then we have Jean-François. He's French, so he's used to that already as well. Yeah, and for the other people, sorry, but I really hope we will be able to meet soon, at least in real. But it was awesome to have some time to chat with you. That's what I like about the show, because I invite a lot of people that I know, and it's been a long time that we didn't met and spend time and discuss and have fun. And by doing this, I'm able to.
And as I said before the show, when we were offline, I really enjoy what you are doing for your community and all those things. So I'm super happy that you invited me actually to speak at your show, because it's a super nice one. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think it was a pleasure. Hey, people have this way. They should see your Twitter handle there. So I'm doing like the weather guide. Okay, so Dadoune.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow David. Remember, he's doing every day an 8-minute talk. Is that every day?
Yeah, every day until the end of the month.
Okay.
Not only me, by the way, my team.
You're with Philip and other people, I guess.
Alex and Aradin. So we are 4 of us.
You're 4 now. Okay, yeah. Again, thank you so much. I see you probably on Twitter, and hopefully soonish. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao. Oh no. The other. Okay, that was it. So that was awesome. I see that my quality is horrible today. So you know what? I can try one thing. I hope it won't break the stream. If it breaks the stream, well, that will be it. I will just switch to another camera, because here I'm using this really powerful reflex camera. Let me go to the simple one. The Pro Stream. Would that work? Yeah, okay, that's working. So the quality is lower, as you can see. Hopefully, let me double check here on the stream. Oh, looks like it completely. Let me see. Oh yeah, because there's a 20-second delay. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. We will play Craig free in 1 moment. I just want to see if the switch helps a bit. Okay. Looks like it's a bit better, maybe. Okay, that's maybe the reason. So what I told you, we will play a game, and if you follow me on Twitter, you can see my account here, Sebi2706. I told you that we will be playing Quake 3. Okay, and you know what? Let me share my screen, because it will be easier to explain. Let me share. There we go. So here you should now see. Oh, yes. Okay. So you are now in Inception mode. Okay. You can still see David there. David, you can join us later in the game. I will share the link on the YouTube channel. But just I want to explain what is happening here. There is this project called Quake Cube. Okay, so basically, and if you were on the show last year, I already played that game, but for people who joined for the first time, let me explain again. There's a Quake GS, Quake running in JavaScript version that exists that works great. Okay, and people have managed to create a container for that, and since we have a container, we can deploy it on Kubernetes. Okay, and what do you need to do that? Well, first thing, you need to have a cluster running. Okay, I got one cluster running on Amazon, and then you have just one YAML file here to expose, to apply. Okay, and I did that just before the show. I did my, should be here my history. Yeah, you see it. I apply that. That will create a deployment to create a pod that contains my Quake server. Okay, it creates a service, of course, and also a config map. All the configuration of the game, which map, how many bots, how many times. That is in a config map in Kubernetes. So you can change this configuration. We can take a look at it. I got my cluster here. You know what? I got a developer view for developers like me. Okay, so here I have my Quake pod running. I could even maybe scale it up. I don't know if that will work. I could here go to 5 pods, for instance. Let me not try it. Maybe, I'm not sure that will be working. But what I want to show you is the config map, server config. Okay, so here you see the data, bots, how many players, the frag limit, 25 frags until the next round. And it is pure Kubernetes resources. So you can change the configuration of the game just by changing the config map and applying that to your cluster. I find that so funny. So what I did, I just deployed the game, this resource. And if we go back here to the topology, OpenShift, so OpenShift is Kubernetes, I just want to remind you, also have created a public route, a public URL to expose my service, okay? And so if I click here, poof, I should have a Quake. And let me take this and let me put it there in the chat, okay? So you already have the link there. You can click on that, and that should bring you to this page. First time you need to load it, okay? And you know what? Let me just switch. I remove my pad and I take my gamer mouse because now we're going to play together. Okay, so let me join the game and let me see. There we go. And maybe I should remove the sound. Oh yeah. There we go, connecting. Hey, there's David. Okay, so it will be a one-to-one with David. Okay, so people join. Oh, they. Yeah, I'm. And remember, this game is it's just running on OpenShift. Let me go here. Here I have my railgun. Okay, let me see if other people joined. No one. Oh, maybe people still have to download the game. Sorry, David. Impressive. So let me go here. Let me come back here. Oh, that is someone Tins. Okay, I don't know who you are, but you're not a bot. That's great. Paul, okay, cool. People have started to join. Okay. Yeah, I think there was a small delay. If it's the first time, you need to download the game, though. Depending on your connection, it can take some time. Like me, I have a really bad connection. Oh, Paul, he felt. Ooh, someone is. Okay, I see some lags for some people, but this time Baby boy. So who is baby boy? Oh, David, I'm sorry. You were here. Okay. Let me see. Hey, people. So I have 6 frags. Let me go to the chat. See. Okay. Oh, my mouse is not working anymore. It's... Oh. Okay, let's play 2 more minutes. Well, I will leave the server open for, I think, at least 1 hour. So if people still want to play after that, after the show, sure. Then I will shut down my server. Otherwise, my manager won't be happy when I will send him the bill. Because, yeah, it's running on a pretty big cluster with, I think... Ooh! Yeah, I mean, well, I've been playing Quake 3 for a long time, so yeah. Let me do a last frag. Oh, he killed himself. Let me do a last frag from there. I like to. And let me do with the railgun. Okay, so where are you people? Where are you? I don't see you. Oh, there is someone. Ooh, I miss you. I see you, Paul. Impressive. Okay, that's it for me. Last thing I want to show you, if you are not in the game, one funny thing. Just let me show you that. Stern to see the logs. Stern, yeah. Here you can. I can watch the logs of the game. Okay, so you see that David disconnected. You can see that kill pulled. Killed pulled. So the word killed pulled. So that means it's when you fell from the stage, something like that. But it's funny again. It's just cube. I wanted to show you that. And again, let me share the link. This link with you here. Okay. Why can I not paste? There we go. Okay. Next show is in 15 days. Let me stop the screen share and just to announce you, because for the first time since for a long time ever, I know exactly who will be my next guest. That doesn't happen too often. So next show is in 15 days. Will be March 25, I think, and my guest will be Quentin from Clever Cloud. Okay, so will be funny discussion because I will ask him question about Kubernetes, and I know he doesn't like Kubernetes. So let's see how that goes. I think it will be a really interesting discussion. Anyway, I wish you a nice end of the day or of the nice afternoon, depending where you are. Stay safe. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And well, let me go there to press the good graphic. I see you in 15 days, well, or before if you come to my deep dives and stuff like that. Okay, follow me on Twitter to know about it. Bye bye. Stay safe.